Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we have a gift box to celebrate the 14th anniversary of the company Paul Ruben to explore. The company sent me this box full of watercolor goodies and I'll be showing you what is in it, followed by a spot of swatching, of course. To celebrate their anniversary they have a discount of up to 20% off on their already low prices from the 8th of August through to the 14th of August 2024. I'll leave all the links and relevant information down below in the video description for you. Just a quick disclaimer, some of the items in the box have not yet been released, so we are getting an exclusive preview which is kind of exciting. The number 4 squirrel brush and sketchbook are however released and you can find them if you follow the links below. Now to unveiling the watercolor goodies. As you can see, I've taken everything out of their beautiful blue presentation box and I'm just going to open each individual box for you. But first I'm going to push these gently to one side and then pick each box to open so there's space. Now first we have this palette, which is a mini palette. Just open it for you. And it has 12 colours in it. And these I'll be swatching for you later. I'll just close this up. Put it back in its box. The next box, when I first opened this, I gasped. I seriously did. When I opened these 3 boxes, to be precise, I went, whoa. And you'll see in a bit why I had that reaction. Let's start with this one. A massive ceramic half pan, well, an imitation of a half pan. It's just enormous, an enormous half pan. And these are basically 3 primaries. This one is PB29, ultramarine blue. This is PY3, which is Hansa yellow, I believe. And this one is a Pirol, I think it's PR254, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, this is like the ultimate mixing palette. They're huge. I've never seen, pans like this before in my life. They're huge. I'll put them to one side as well. Now we are going to move on to the longer boxes. These here, these are brushes. They are squirrel brushes and I'll take them out for you to see. If I can, I need to push this. Yeah, okay. This is a size 6. I believe all the long boxes are brushes. Open this as well. This is a number 0. There are 2 more brushes. Let's put that to one side. This is a number 2. And the final brush, I believe, is here. And this is a number 4. So it's a nice set of brushes. Lovely wooden finish, very, very light. I believe these need to be soaked in warm water before use to get all the substance they use to keep these to a fine point until they are to be used. So I'll put them to one side. And the final thing in the box was this sketchbook, which is a watercolor sketchbook. It's 100% cotton, 300 GSM hot pressed paper, 20 pages. And I'll just open it for you to see how it looks. And on this paper, I'll be testing the watercolors that were included in the celebration box. To do that, I'll need to clean up a little bit and set everything up, and I'll be right back with you. I am back. I've tidied everything up and I'm ready to begin swatching. I'm going to begin with swatching this small 12 colour palette first, and I'll be swatching on the pad, the hot pressed watercolor pad that was provided by Paul Ruben's in the box. So let's see what the colors look like and what the paper looks like as well. So I'm going to start with this cadmium yellow, which is PY35. It looks so bright. Whoa, yes it is. It's a very bright opaque yellow. It's a very green undertone there. I'm going to dilute that so that we can see it diluted as well. Pretty, very bright, very green leaning. Okay, so our next colour is lemon yellow, which is interesting because I would have thought possibly it would be a warmer yellow because they've got the cadmium yellow, which is quite cool. Let's see, it might be warmer. It's PY3. See, mass tone first. Yeah, still very cool. And let me see, very similar to the cadmium yellow actually. And I'll just dilute that. Very, very similar. I mean, that looks even more green leaning. I thought that looked green leaning, and this looks even more so. It's cooler than that. But still, two very cool colours, two very cool yellows. Next we have Cadmium Red Medium, PR108. Mass tone, bold and very creamy. Bold and opaque. I'll dilute it. Let's see what it looks like. It's a nice warm cadmium red. My circles are small and wonky, and I think I've been, whoops, I've been hitting the camera or the phone with my glasses. Apologies for that, because I'm leaning forward. Nice. Next we have Quinacridone Rose, which is PB19. Let's dry that a little bit. Wow, wow, wow. Bold. Very bold. Wonder what this is going to look like diluted. I cannot believe that next month is September already. I am very excited because autumn is, I think it is my favourite season to work. There's so much inspiration in autumn, all the colours and the shifting skies. It really inspires you to work and create, and it's going to be autumn. Can you believe that summer is almost over? Next we have Dioxazine Violet, PB23. Very standard colours so far. Very dark. I kind of remember, I think it was the Light Wish. That was a very dark mass tone dioxazine as well. Dilute that. I'm going to try and dilute it heavily because it is very pigmented. There we go. It's a very pretty dioxazine. French Blue is next, which is our old friend Ultramarine Blue, PB29. Wow, whoa. Okay, that is so violet leaning. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's almost like a purple. Let me dilute that. I do love violet leaning ultramarines, so I'm excited to see this diluted. Yes, maybe not as much diluted, but that certainly is. I wonder if this is going to give us any texture, though the texture is going to be limited on this paper as it's hot pressed, but it might give us a little bit of texture there. My goodness, my circles are so wonky today. My apologies. Just looking at the top ones going, those are so wonky. Berlin Blue next, PB27. This is a Prussian Blue. Ooh, okay. This feels a little bit gummy, a little bit. I'll see what it feels like diluted. The paper is really nice. My preference is hot pressed paper, as I do lots of details in my work. Ooh, that has some particles in it separating again. You can see little particles. What was I saying? Oh yes, my preference is hot pressed, so I would definitely be using this pad a lot. So next we have Olive Green Dark, which is a mixture of PO62 and PG7. Nice, very earthy green. I dilute it. See what it looks like. Nice neutral green. Oriental green is PG7. Phthalo green, cool shade. Yeah, very bright and streaky in mass tone, which is as expected with the phthalo. Let's dilute it. Now we're going to see its power of, yeah, so bright. I would use like a touch of an earth colour in there to kind of balance the brightness out, but that's just my preference. Venetian Red is next, PR101. This feels nice. It looks like it's going to be quite opaque. It is. Yeah, total coverage. And let's dilute it. A little bit more. I think it's a more neutral Venetian Red. It's not heavily red leaning. Okay, so brown umber is next, and that is a mixture of PB15 column 1, PBR7 and PBK9. PBK9 Ivory Black. PB15 column 1 is a phthalo blue. PBR7 is what I would have imagined an umber to be, without the other colours in it, but let's just see what this looks like. Oh, it's very dark. Let's see. It's an interesting mix for an umber. It's nice. It is more opaque than I would expect an umber to be, but as this is a mix, it's no surprise. Let's dilute that. Yes, it's quite black leaning, grey leaning even. And I think I can see like some really dark black particles in there. Interesting brown for texture, for trees and such, for branches and things like that. I'm really impressed with this French blue. This has granulated even on hot pressed, which means it will granulate a lot more dramatically on cold pressed than, yeah, obviously even more on rough paper, but that looks like it has a lot of potential for texture, and I like that. I like the ultramarines to have that feature. Now next we have Ivory Black, which is PBK9. What? Oh, that is not opaque. That is semi-opaque, I'd say. And dilute that. Nice grey, very neutral. Neutral, possibly a little bit warm leaning grey. Yeah. Okay, so that was the small palette here, which is, I think it's a nice mixing palette. I think that personally I would have chosen a warmer yellow for one of the yellows, because they're both quite cool. This looks warmer now that it's next to the lemon yellow, but still it is quite cool. There's a lot of a green undertone there. It's a nice palette. It's a nice palette. I really like the French blue. That is my favorite color. Really nice granulation, and I love that it's so violet leaning. And this Ivory Black looks like it is granulating as well. And this Berlin blue kind of separated into particles, which is interesting. Overall, a nice palette. Now we're going to move on to swatching the big half pans. Let's see, I have a blue. Oh, I hope it's the same blue. I hope it's the same blue as that. Okay, so let's start with the yellow, which I believe is PY3. And if you haven't seen it in the beginning of the video, here it is. It is huge. I'm gonna have to just I'm still laughing. I'm not laughing at the pans. It feels very surreal holding such a big pan in my hands. It's just so surreal. Okay, so let's just see what this looks like. I'm gonna do this and then just add some water and see how it behaves. It's the same colour as the lemon yellow, the PY3. So no surprises there. It's exactly the same. Our next colour is this. I think this is a Perol. I think the pigment number is PR254. I think so. So let's try this red. I'm sorry. It's just it's such a novelty to hold these palettes in your hands. And oh, wow, that is bold. I'm going to add some water, just see how it behaves. Add a little bit more because it's quite opaque. Okay, and the final colour, the final big colour we have is this blue, and I am really hoping it's the same as the French blue there because I love that. So let's see. Moment of truth. Oh, I think I can see like a slightly violet hue to it, which is promising. Okay, here we go. Not sure, maybe? Once I add some water, it might become more evident what it is. Let's just add some water. I mean, it looks similar. I think that because this isn't as mass toned as that, it looks a bit different. We'll see if it granulates at all, though with my horizontal lines it might not help the granulation process that much. But yes, these are the three primaries of that. Well, they're not true primaries, but they're the three close to primaries. Because I mean the red should be a bit pinker, the blue should be a bit cooler for it to be true primaries, but I am going off on a tangent here, so yeah, apologies. And finally I'm going to try these brushes. So I have soaked them in some warm water. Here they are. And I have cleaned them and softened them. And I'm going to start with the number zero, the zero brush. And I am going to, let's see, what colour should we use? I think I'm going to use, shall I use the blue? I'll use the blue. I'll use this blue and see what it looks like. So I'm going to pick up the colour and just draw. Yes, it holds quite a lot and of colour. That's granulated so nicely. Sorry. And it's fairly pointy at the top so that you can create some details. Let's do the second smaller one, which is number 2. I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to dampen it a little bit, then pick up some colour. Okay. Yes. Holds a lot of colour as well, and it's quite consistent. Let's try the number 4 brush now, which is this. Is this the number 4? Yes, this is going to be so big. Let's see. Okay. And okay. Again, consistent. There is a little bit of streakiness, but that could have just been my fault. And the last one is the big one, which is the number 6. Let's see what this can do. This was made for this palette, but I think even a larger brush would be needed in here. Okay, let's see. Ooh, interesting. Those look like they can create the same length of, well, width of line. Yeah, and yes, it's quite impressive. The large one can create that very, very thin line. Apologies for the very going off lines here because I'm at an angle. It's a little difficult to use these where I'm sitting. But yeah, those were the paints that were sent to me. The paints and brushes and paper that was sent to me by Paul Ruben to celebrate their 14th anniversary. Happy 14th anniversary to Paul Ruben. Thank you so much, Paul Ruben, for sending these to me. I had a great time testing and, you know, trying out everything. Thank you. I love these. These are great. I love this blue, so I'll be using it a lot. I'll have to do a lot of studies in blue, and I'll have to also mix these to see what colours they can produce. These three, but these are definitely not going into my travel bags. These are huge. Those aren't available for sale yet, but I believe they will be. The items I believe that are available for sale are this pad, which I'm really liking, and I'll be using a lot because I love hot press watercolor paper. This 100% cotton, and this brush, the number 4 brush. I think all the other items haven't been released yet. I'll write everything below. I'll add everything below in the video description, so that if you want to read more about what's available, what's not available, the discounts, click the links to see the items yourselves, that will be available for you. So I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to go and I'm going to take this sketchbook for a spin, because my great weakness in life, apart from paints, is paper. So when I get a new paper, I really like to experiment on it and see what it can do. So I'll be taking this sketchbook for a spin. Anyway, thank you all for being here today. I'm going to leave you with my awkward bit, which is, if you like this video, please hit the like button because it helps the video's visibility. Thank you. If you would like to see more videos from me, I've got lots coming up in autumn, so stay tuned. Please subscribe and hit the notification button so that YouTube will let you know when I have a new video available. If you would like to leave a comment, that would be great. I love your comments. I try and read all of them. Also, yes, what else? Of course, my little bit about hope, which I say at the end of every video. And it's very simple. It's just, do not lose hope. Do not let go of hope. We've all been through tough times. There are so many people going through tough times now, and there are going to be people in the future going through tough times. These are things, this is part of life. What keeps us going is hope. In the darkest times, specifically in the darkest times, it's hope that keeps us going. Because when there's no light about and there's nothing to grasp, sometimes that is the case, unfortunately. The only thing that keeps us afloat is hope. And know that I am there with you, holding on to hope. So we are holding on to hope together. I love you guys. Keep safe, keep creative. See you next week. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.